I promise you, this is so far from anything that you've ever been to.
And now.
All right, so small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. How many, when they hear me say it'll take you 20 years to figure all this out, are like, I totally got 20 years in me. Like, I have the patience to do that. I know there's nobody in the room. I mean, I'm the highest D that there is. So, but it's all about consistency in this area, I will tell you. And just really just, it's compound effect. So law of process, this was one of the ones that I really struggled with. I'm just very, very impatient. Everyone around me knows it now. I even tell people just wide open, if it's like a sales call or something, like, just, you got to bullet point this for me. This could go an hour, it can go 3 minutes. You know, I just have no patience. So law of process, daily focus on getting better. And it's a seasoning sort of thing. The reason why most agents never kind of get out of what their lid is, what their ceiling is because they're not looking at themselves. They're not looking internally. You know, they're not looking at their dollar productive activities. They're not looking at their leadership skills. And it's not an easy process. And it's the reason why we all decided to build a business. And there's lots. I fully believe that 99% of the population are just followers. And, you know, it's that 1%. And maybe it's less than that, but not by much. And so we're doing something that most people wouldn't even think of doing. And we're all learners. That's why we're here. So that's not a big surprise. But it's all about self-discipline and perseverance. Real quick, John Maxwell goes through 5 phases of development. The first phase is, I don't know what I don't know. That was me until like 2 years ago, honestly. I mean, I felt like I'm doing great in my business. Everything's working really well. When we tried to just organizationally, just working through the sales manager and the ops manager and equal authority and me being absent, and there's just a whole bunch of weirdness around there where it was a lack of leadership because I didn't have a designated leader in the office, and I was still the leader coming in once a week. Was totally jacked up. So that was me like 2-3 years ago. There's 2 things here. I think a lot of people fail to recognize that leadership is the thing. Like, it is the thing. I just see it clearly now. But a lot of people don't even see themselves as leaders, and I think that's the other part of it, is that it could be, I'm not a psychologist by any means, but it could be like a self-image issue where you really don't see yourself as a true leader. So I don't know what I don't know. Number 2, sort of second phase here, I know that I need to know. Being in charge is not the same as being a leader, so just because you decided to start a real estate team doesn't make you a leader. And I think that's a lot of us think that way. So being in charge is not the same as being a leader. You must actively grow as a leader to get people to follow you. Third is, I know what I don't know. So I have a pretty good awareness that I'm jacked up in a lot of sort of laws and different parts of being a leader. There will come a time when you realize that leadership is critical to growing your business. Hopefully that time is now. So for those of you that are still, we have to actually call the attendance at this event is lower than last event. The topic of last event, and our membership is up, the topic of last event, I don't believe it's anything except that it was sales and marketing versus leadership. I believe that a lot of people just saw this topic, made me think like, I'm not even announcing it next time. The fall workshop is unnamed. You guys will not know until you get here. We even make calls, and for people that are sort of earlier in the process, they think that this is not something they need to focus on right now. I'm like, no, that's why I want to share this with you. So it's easier, like when there's like an admin and a buyer agent, to figure out how to be a leader than when you have a team of 20 and you're just jacked everything up and you've made some poor decisions. 4, I know and grow, and it starts to show. I want to hope to think I'm getting to that point. Once you recognize your lack of skill and begin the daily discipline of personal growth, exciting things happen, and then it's just innate. I simply go because of what I know. So champions, one saying that John Maxwell uses, and all of his stories are really good. I didn't want to try to rip them off and retell them because he tells them And if you get the audio version of the book, he's just a really good storyteller. Champions don't become champions in the ring. They're merely recognized there. I think he talks about what's like the shortest like running, like for the Olympics, if you're doing like a sprint that takes like 10 seconds, you're training for 4 years to do 10 seconds of your craft. And in real estate, it's not like that. It's reversed. So we don't practice a lot. We don't work on getting better. We're just doing it. If you want to see where someone develops into a champion, look at their daily routine.